Hey guys, Cheri from The Watering Mouth here. Thanks for tuning in for another video. This one is about casting a vote for your habits. Okay, first of all, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell so you can get notifications about when I publish new videos and when I go live, all that good stuff. Make sure you subscribe. I'm doing a cheat sheet for this video, thewateringmouth.com/cheat sheets. Sign up there. You can get all my old cheat sheets, the recipes, all the really cool stuff that I've put with previous videos, as well as current and future cheat sheets as well. This one is going to be talking all about a very specific concept on how you can remain a nutritarian for life. So make sure you get the cheat sheet for this one so you can be reminded of these concepts over time. It's going to be really helpful, okay? So let's get into casting a vote for your habit. I first heard this way of putting this from Mr. James Clear. If you guys don't know who James Clear is, you really need to check him out. He has a super awesome newsletter, like blog newsletter type thing with information about productivity and habit building and stuff like that. He just released a book called Atomic Habits, and everyone that I know who's read this book just loves it. I love his content. The way he puts things is so simple, and it's about just starting small and getting better and better. So I'm going to put a link for his blog and his book down below in the show more section or above in the description, depending on where you're seeing this video. The lifestyle that I talk about in all my videos is the Eat to Live Nutritarian lifestyle. High nutrient plant foods, healthy stuff for your low weight, for your longevity, for disease fighting and prevention, blah, 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 all comes from the book Eat to Live by Dr. Joel Fuhrman. I talk about this stuff because I believe in it, I follow it myself, and I think it is the best way to get over cravings, to become the kind of person that you want to become when it comes to how you eat and how your body responds to what you're doing health-wise, and sort of helping you be this really high-performing machine, right? This is kind of how I see this lifestyle and the benefits that you can get out of it. But there is such a difficulty sticking to it. So I want to just show you guys something. So I have a Facebook group where we all talk about everything we're doing in our nutritarian journey. It's a high nutrient lifestyle group on Facebook. You can check us out. Anyone can join. It's super awesome. We're actually in the middle of a challenge right now, and everyone is rocking it. So this is a great place for support. I encourage you to join. Link for this down below as well. What I do in this Facebook group is when you join, I ask 3 questions of you. One of them is, what is your biggest struggle around healthy eating? So what I did, kind of interesting, my cat is going crazy right now. Okay. So what I thought would be really cool to do yesterday was take all of your answers that I've gotten, like hundreds of you. There's over 1,000 people in this group now. So I took all of these answers that everyone has given me and I put them into a word map, and I want to show you what the most common words were that you guys say you struggle with, okay? Now, the first thing you can see here is consistency. After that, we have time, plan, family, and sugar. Okay, so you can see that kind of these are our main issues, but the biggest one being consistency, sticking to it. That was another one that was really big. So we have so much issue with consistency. We know what we should be doing, but if we could just do it, that would be key, right? But that's what my channel is all about, getting you guys to be consistent, helping you understand how to make this something for the rest of your life, that you do for the rest of your life, okay? One of our biggest problems when we try this consistency thing is that we go all or nothing. We get this all or nothing mentality that we must get everything right, and if we don't get it right, well, we might as well just go off for a while and have our old, go back to our old ways so we can kind of enjoy that for a second, and then we'll get back on it, really on track, really, really hardcore, and we'll do the best we, we'll give it that go again, right? So there's inherently an issue with this, and that is that if we're not perfect, if we don't do this 100%, then we might as well just stop completely. But, okay, here's the argument against that. First of all, Dr. Fuhrman says in Eat to Live that you can expect a health improvement equal to the percentage that you do this, okay? So you could expect, like, if you ate this way 33% of the time, you could expect a 33% increase in your health. This is like, it's so brutal. Vincent just like bats at her, and Moo just hangs out and waits until it's over. Wow. the better you eat, the better your health outcomes. So you can sort of expect if you were to eat a 33% better diet, you're going to have a 33% better health. So then it's like, okay, well, why would I go off completely if I'm at least getting some benefit from it? Which leads me to the point of this video, okay? Casting a vote. So when I started my Nutritarian journey, I did it hardcore, perfectly for 3 months, lost a ton of weight, was feeling really, really good. And at the time, my father was really, really sick. He had cancer and he was going to die 4 or 5 months after I started this lifestyle. Because I started in June, July, August, September, October, November. 5 months later, he would pass. So while I was doing this, I was taking care of my dad and taking care of myself and all this kind of stuff. But I knew there was going to be a place where he would pass and I would have to grieve. I didn't know what was going to happen to my Eat to Live journey at that point, but I knew that this was going to happen. So when it finally happened, my dad was like my best friend. We were so close. We loved each other so much, and I really took it hard. And so I always say that I kind of fell into this hole of pasta and Parmesan cheese and butter for like 6 months. That's my drug of choice, right? Like I was obsessed with that. It was the thing that I turned to in my grief. But the thing I didn't do was stop having smoothies for breakfast. Right? I didn't stop having a Nutritarian meal every day. And the thing was, I had a meal that I loved. It was this chocolate peanut butter smoothie. I would have it every morning. And I loved it so much that it wasn't even difficult for me to keep doing that after he passed. Like I actually really wanted that smoothie. It still was something I was interested in, and you know, I'll give that recipe to you guys. I've given it before in cheat sheets, but I'll give it to you in this cheat sheet as well. So make sure you sign up for that if you do want to get that recipe. But I was so into that recipe anyways, it was not a stretch for me to just keep doing it. Besides, it was the habit I had. So I was already, like, it didn't require much effort, you know, same effort as if I was going to make oatmeal or eggs or anything like that. So it was no problem for me to keep doing that. But I kept doing that all throughout the grieving process because it was easier. And the rest of the day after the smoothie was whatever, right? I did not keep track of anything else after that. I gained some weight back and I had to start over again once I was feeling, you know, further through that grief and all that. But that was me, and now that I look back on it, I realize that that was me casting a vote for being a Nutritarian. So what do I mean by this casting a vote? So it's like when the chips are down and you don't feel like doing it anymore, you just cast a vote for being that person, for being in that lifestyle. It doesn't mean you're doing it 100%. It doesn't mean you're even doing it well. It means you just kind of like, you do something to just say, oh, I'm still in this. I still have skin in the game, right? So for instance, when I started exercising a lot in the last 9 months, I started doing these HIIT workouts, high intensity interval training workouts. And I started off hardcore because I wanted to make this a habit. So I did it 15 minutes every day for 90 days in a row, and I didn't miss a single day. That was just so I could get in the habit. But once I went into more of a maintenance mode of exercising just weekly to make sure, I gave myself a couple rules, like you have to work out 3 to 4 times a week, no exceptions. No exceptions, and 15 minutes is your minimum. So you have to do 15 minutes of exercise, okay? So those were my 100%, this is what I don't cross these lines, this is it, because it was something I could sustain. I chose those things because I knew I could do 15 minutes. That was no problem for me, right? So I did, and I sustained that. But there have been a few days, and I can count them maybe on one hand, but just a few days where I would do my exercise and I'd be like, oh, I really don't want to do this, but I would just get on the floor, do something, and then I'd lose steam and just give up after like 5 minutes and be like, eh. But the casting a vote part comes in where I get to say, at least I still exercised that day. And I didn't get out of the habit, right? I still put on my clothes, I still had my shoes on, or partially, you know, like partially got ready, kind of did a few push-ups. I put in the motions, but I didn't really, you know, go all out kind of a thing. And then I just gave up maybe 5-7 minutes later or something. But it still felt like I exercised fully that day. It still felt like I did something, because I did something. Just as when my dad passed and I was still having the smoothie, I still had something every day to sort of keep me in that mode. So for you, casting a vote for you might be a little bit different. It might be just reading a book. It might be just, you know, listening to a podcast or something that supports this way of life, even if you don't eat the food. Or maybe it is just eating one meal a day. You find one thing that you love as a nutritarian, and it might just be my chocolate peanut butter smoothie. Find one thing that you love that you can have every day, and that might just be your, you know, 33% improvement, or your way to cast a vote to keep on this lifestyle, right? Because the idea is that we don't ever want to give up. That's the only time we fail. We only fail when we give up 100%. So if we're not giving up, like, we don't have to maybe even do it every day, but I think once a day, at least one meal a day that's nutritarian is a great kind of minimum to give yourself. Like, I gave myself 15 minutes of working out 3 to 4 days a week minimum. That was it. And then it's like, okay, you know, you do this every single day. And then if you happen to miss one day in a blue moon, it's not the end of the world, because you're in such a pattern and you're so already ingrained in it that you know you're going to come back to it, right? So try to find one meal like that that you just love, that you could have every day, that you don't mind, you know, having. Make sure it has greens in it, right? Like, make sure it has some type of vegetable in it, because then it truly is a nutritarian meal, and not just like a whole foods plant-based meal, but something with greens, something with green vegetables, like a smoothie, for instance, or a salad or whatever, something that you can have every single day that you like, and use that as your sort of fallback go-to meal that you just cast a vote whenever you need to, and you're just not feeling it. You at least had that one meal, right? And then when you're feeling stronger and you're feeling better, because it will come back, I promise you, that's the one thing to keep in mind. Motivation always comes back. It just doesn't mean it's going to be next week or next month, but it might be in 6 months. Your motivation will come back. It might be in a few days. It might be after your period's done, or, you know, whatever it is, or after so-and-so leaves your house and you know, got your house guests out, or whatever it might be that was holding you back. Your motivation always comes back, just as it always leaves. And just knowing that we have these back and forth cycles all the time can help us to prepare more. And if we can keep those like little rules of, I do this at least once a day, that can really help us. It can turn into success when you look back on it over time. It looks like success. While you were in it, it might have felt more like failure, but when you look back on it, and I look at that 6 months of grieving after my father passed, knowing that I still had some nutritarian food every single day, I look at that as a success, and hey, I didn't fall off. And here I am, you know, almost 6 years later, still rocking it, still working on it, still going. That's all because I just kept casting a vote whenever I wasn't feeling it. I just cast a vote for what I wanted to be and who I wanted, the identity that I wanted to have. And it became my true 100% identity over time. Okay, that's all I got for this. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I've been wanting to make one like this for a really long time, and I hope that it resonated with you. Let me know down below in the comments what you think of this concept, right? Do you have that all or nothing mentality? Do you think this might help you to kind of think of this just casting a vote idea? As I said, please like, subscribe, comment. If you're going to subscribe, hit the bell button so you can get the notifications. Get the cheat sheet for this video. I'm going to put these concepts into a cheat sheet so you can refer to this and keep remembering this concept of casting a vote. Get that at thewateringmouth.com/cheat sheets. Lastly, as always, please sign up for my Patreon page. If you really like what I do, you can support me and help me make more of this stuff for you. There's also a really cool way to kind of get some semi-private coaching from me in there, which is really exciting. In Patreon, I also give exclusive content that no one else sees, some personal stuff like photos from my iPhone and videos and stuff like that, as well as more in-depth kind of messaging like this from my coaching, and little tips and tricks and ways that you can be more successful. It's kind of where the VIPs hang out. It's where the cool kids hang out, and I go really a lot more in depth on Patreon. So check out patreon.com/thewateringmouth. I would be so honored to have you there, and you will ensure that I can keep growing this thing as we go and give you more content to keep your life on the high nutrient track for a long term. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I love you. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!